The Elephant's Shadow. In the dusty village of Makutano, where red clay paths wind between acacia trees and sun-baked huts, a boy named Wanyoike lived with his father, a herder, and a quiet man who rarely spoke. Wanyoike was 11, clever and curious, and had two strong opinions. He loved animals, and he couldn't stand Mzee Kamau. Mzee Kamau was an old man who lived near the river. He was always hunched, walked with a limp, and never smiled at anyone. His goats were wild, his fences crooked, and his house covered in vines. Kids whispered about him. "He's mean. He doesn't like people. Don't go near his land," he yells at everyone. Wanyoike believed all of it, especially after the day he tried to pick mangoes near Kamau's fence, and the old man barked, "Get away from my tree." Wanyoike ran home muttering, "Grumpy old man." But one afternoon, the village teacher, Miss Achieng, gave the class an unusual assignment. "Each of you must spend 1 hour this weekend with someone you don't understand," she said. "Not someone you like, someone you avoid, fear, or judge." The students groaned. Wanyoike raised his hand. "What if they don't want to talk? Then, your job," Miss Achieng said gently, "is to listen anyway, even to silence." Saturday afternoon, with heavy feet and a heavier sigh, Wanyoike walked toward Mzee Kamau's house. He was ready for the worst. Maybe a door slammed in his face, or a chase with a stick. But the old man was sitting quietly under a tree, watching his goats chew lazily in the grass. Wanyoike cleared his throat. Miss Achieng sent me for a school thing." Kamau blinked slowly. "Sit," he said, without emotion. They sat in silence for a long while. The goats bleated. A crow cawed. Wanyoike kept glancing at his watch. Then, something strange happened. One of the goats broke from the group, running toward the road. Wanyoike stood up, but the old man raised his hand. From his pocket, Kamau pulled out a small flute, thin and carved from dark wood. He played a slow, soft melody. The goat froze, turned, walked back. Wanyoike stared, wide-eyed. "You trained them?" Kamau didn't smile, but he nodded. "They respond to music, not shouting." "Where'd you learn that?" There was a long pause. Then the old man said, "From an elephant." Wanyoike blinked. "What?" Kamau gestured to the horizon. "A long time ago, I was a forest guide. I worked with the sanctuary near Tsavo." He went quiet. The wind rustled the trees. Then slowly, like sand slipping through an hourglass, the story came. Years ago, Kamau had found an orphaned elephant calf. Its mother had been killed by poachers. He raised the calf himself, named her Shida, meaning trouble, because she never followed orders but always followed music. They bonded. For years, they worked together helping locate poachers and lead other elephants to safety. But one night, during a raid, a truck carrying Kamau and other rangers overturned. Shida panicked, trying to protect Kamau from the chaos. In doing so, she accidentally crushed his leg, the injury that left him limping ever since. He never blamed her, but the forest was gone from him after that. So he came back home with a limp and a flute. Wanyoike didn't know what to say. All this time, he had thought Kamau was bitter, broken, useless, but the truth was, he had carried more courage and grief than most people could imagine. "I'm sorry," Wanyoike finally said. "I didn't know." Kamau looked at him for the first time, really looked, and said, "Most people never ask." The next week, when Wanyoike presented his assignment, he didn't just talk about Kamau. He talked about what it means to carry invisible pain, to live behind a story no one ever bothers to read. And from that day on, Wanyoike waved at Kamau every time he passed by. And one day, just once, Kamau lifted his hand and waved back. Moral of the story: Everyone is living a story you haven't read. Don't judge the cover before listening to the pages.